Welcome back to Let's Play Riven. In the previous video, we made our way here to Village Island, where we came across these strange wooden eyeballs which have some symbols behind them, and also give off these distinct animal noises when we interact with them. More on those later, but for right now, let's go ahead and open up the Wark's mouth, and step on back outside to continue our explorations of this island. And we also came across this large rotating dome, which we were able to open up, but... oh! Hello there. A little Rivenese child who quickly runs off and disappears, just like that. So yeah, we also came across a giant rotating dome, which we were able to open up, but we need some kind of combination to have access to the Lincoln book that's inside it. And actually, I'm not going to continue exploring this island, but instead, I would like to head on over to another part of Riven that we haven't been to yet. And here we can see an axe embedded in this tree stump. And I know what you're thinking. It's hard to believe that you're able to make a perfect cut on this tree using a simple-looking axe. But if you look closely, you can see like a little handle right there and this wire. So I'm guessing a couple of people were able to use this like wire to cut up the rest of the tree and chop it down like that. But anyway, there's a Dome Island right there. That's where we started the game. And over here we come across a minecart, which we can step inside, and with a flick of this switch, we can go for a ride inside said minecart. A la Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And we went from traversing through a cave to traversing underwater, thanks to these rings that are emitting heat. Again, we see the illusion of water being opened up, and we can actually see why. It's because the water reacts to the heat because of the bacteria that's in the water. It's the bacteria that's reacting to the heat and moving away from the heat and taking the water with it. So that would explain the holes in the lake that we saw in the previous video. And a lot of people really like this minecart ride. It's a lot like a roller coaster ride. And I'm pretty sure you would say the same thing if you were watching this video and seeing this game for the first time ever. Somehow. And we come sliding down a chute and above this device right here, with a lever right next to it. But when we pull the lever, nothing happens. And there's a ladder that we can step on down, and judging by this pile of bark, I would assume that this device right here is a wood chipper. And over here appears to be some kind of giant pressure cooker. A wood chipper and a pressure cooker. Didn't we see something similar in one of the murals back in Dome Island? In one of the beetles? As a matter of fact, we did. And there is a boardwalk over here, which takes us to a lever. And we can pull the lever to redirect the power to one of these three pipes. And if we redirect the power over here, it leads directly to the wood chipper. Let's go ahead and try it out now and see if it works this time. Yeah, thank God this thing was inactive when we slid down this chute. Otherwise, that would have been an immediate game over right there. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the pressure cooker, which is currently active. And there's a door right here. But we cannot open it because, according to this gauge right here, which is currently red, it means it's too dangerous to step inside. And if we go over here, there are these different controls that we can mess about with. And flipping that will shut off the cooker itself. So I guess this means it's safe to go inside. Well, the gauge is no longer red, and the door is now opening. But unfortunately, if we go inside, it is still filled with water. And as you all know, the stranger does not like swimming. So let's go ahead and drain the cooker of the water by first redirecting this valve to provide power to the pressure cooker. And then let's step back over this way and turn this wheel to drain the water. And there we go. So now we should be able to get inside, right? I mean, the cooker is off, the water has been drained, but unfortunately we still can't step inside because the floor is too far down. So we gotta raise the floor somehow. And in order to do that, we have to flip this valve right here to redirect power. And since I already flipped that other lever up, that will automatically raise the floor to the proper level. Just like that. Now, I don't really understand how this door is able to open by itself. Like, there's no button or lever or anything. It just opens when you step up to it. I mean, they're like a pressure plate or something that I'm standing on that opens the door. I don't know. Or maybe there's some sensors of some sort. But anyway, we can now go in here and go down this ladder into this pipe. And it is so dark in here. I cannot see anything. Oh, I see some light at the end here. And we have reached the end of the island, and we can drop right down. And there's the pipe we dropped from, and we can't jump back up there. And there's a little puddle of water right here. But we can go up and over this path right here, which will take us to this balcony overlooking Crater Island. Yeah, this island right here is called Crater Island, and it does bear strong resemblance to Crater Lake, doesn't it? I know that because I've actually been to Crater Lake before. Anyway, let's step in here and see what's inside. Well, I see a couple of gizmos over here. There's a fan up here that we can't do anything with. And there's this thing right here, and it appears to be some kind of a trap. And that is indeed the case. What good is this trap for? Well, there are some seeds right here. And if we pick one up and place it in the trap, and pull this lever, or push it rather, nothing happens. Well, that's because there's no power going there. And if we look over here, there's a pipe protruding from the trap to the great unknown. And we gotta go back to that valve right there and redirect power to that trap. And we can do so by opening up this door and stepping down the ladder and make our way over here around the cooker and flipping this valve back to where we first saw it. Yeah, you can see right there the pipe going up here and to the trap inside that building. Let's see if we can make the trap go down. And the answer is yes. Now that the trap had power, we can descend it into the abyss below. And what can we capture with that trap? Well, we shall find out in due time. That's strange. Normally, whenever I go through a door, the door closes behind me, but here, the door stayed open ever since I first stepped inside this building. Could there be a reason for that? Well, can we actually close the door manually? Yes, we can. And upon doing so, we've uncovered a couple of secret passages. Let's go left first and see what lies down this way. Another door, which conceals another rotating dome. Very much similar to the one that we saw in the previous video. But of course we can't do anything with it, at least not yet. And if we look over here, we see a little peephole right here, and I can just barely see the scope inside it. How can we get to it? Well, once again, the door doesn't close behind me when I step away from it. So, if I close it now, it reveals another secret passageway. And look at that, it provides us access to the scope, looking out to the rotating dome. And of course we gotta press the button multiple times until we get to the gold symbol that's on the dome, which is that symbol right there. And the dome stops spinning and it opens up. And if it's anything like the previous rotating dome, it will have another linking book inside it, which will require a 5-digit combination. And that is indeed the case. And again, I don't know what the combination is because it is randomized in every single playthrough of this game. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for the combination needed to access the linking book inside the dome. Alright, now let's go over this way and see what we find over here. Oh, there's another building over here. But unfortunately, the door is locked. How can we get inside there? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. There's a lever right here, and if we pull it, we actually deactivate something. And what is it that we deactivated? Well, remember that fan that we saw earlier? Well, now it has stopped rotating, and we can actually climb inside and crawl through the air duct. And it leads us into this building. And this building appears to be some sort of laboratory. And this is, as a matter of fact, Gen's personal lab, where he conducts some experiments on books and other things. Well, let's take a look around and see what we can find here, including another wooden eyeball. And this time we can actually see the symbol for as long as we want before we can flip it back over. And this symbol is different from all the other symbols that we saw in the previous island on all the previous eyeballs. And one thing you might notice, when I turn the eyeball, it doesn't make any sound. Interesting. And there's a note right here that we can read. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating, but anchored near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently, and quite mysteriously, been replaced with a new one overnight. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the villagers' island, but have paid them little notice until now. Tomorrow I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. So now we know the original location of where this eyeball was. It was in the lake on the villager island. But where exactly, we do not know. So we got 5 wooden eyeballs with 5 symbols. One of them did not give off an animal noise, which is this one right here. And one of them does not show the silhouette of an animal that gives off that noise when we interact with the eyeball. Well, 2 if we count this one, but maybe there is a way that we can view the eyeball from its original spot in a way that we can see the silhouette of the animal that it represents. Because according to this note, when this eyeball was removed from its original spot, another one has replaced it in the bay. Anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the desk and see what else there is here. We got this thing right here, some sort of solar system of Riven or something. I'm not exactly sure. Some nuts, I guess, or fruits, and what looked like a tea kettle of some sort. And there is a journal right here, but I'm not going to read it yet. I'll read it later. Another kettle, a pen, and an inkwell, and a gun. And up here is some sort of a pipe, and I'm guessing this is the lighter to light the pipe or something? Not sure. Also, you'll notice these warp tusks right here. Yeah, the Rivenese have a thing with the wars where they worship them. They see them as gods, and again, like to decorate his lab and other things, his other properties with warp tusks. As you can see here in this lab, of course. And there's another one of these traps right here, along with, I'm guessing that's some kind of a knife. And I'm not sure what those are. They look like shotgun slugs of some sort. And we got some tools here. We got a syringe and a pair of scissors. And a couple of flasks. Science stuff. And a couple of rocks. Geodes, I guess. And a dresser. We can open up one of the drawers, which had a bunch of eggs inside. But I can't open up the other drawers for some reason. And there's another kettle right here, which appeared to be on top of a burner. And if we activate the burner, you can see the water inside the kettle reacting to the heat. Yep, this is what I meant before about the bacteria in the water reacting to the heat and pulling the water away from the heat, because the bacteria does not like heat. And the burner shuts off, and the water goes back down to the bottom of the kettle. What else is there? Got some specimen containers, a couple of which has a couple of frogs, or itrams as they're called in this game. More shotgun slugs, I'm assuming that's what they are. And some more flasks. And there is a door over here, but this is not the same door that we saw earlier. That is actually that door right there. But there's another desk right here that we can take a look at, including a magnifying glass looking down at a piece of a tree with a 5-pointed star on it. Again, sticking with the theme of 5 for this age, and this game overall. Not exactly sure what this is. And got some papers, some ink. Don't know what that is either. It looks like some kind of a crowbar, except that it's not really a crowbar. I don't know what that is. Some kind of a hook. And a vice grip. I'm guessing this is used to compress the paper for the books. Who knows? Some more ink. And a stamp. More paper. Some books. Is that a question mark on the cover of that book? I'd never noticed that before, that question mark. Huh. wonder if that's an Easter egg or something. I don't know. Like I said, I've never noticed that before. And there is an oven right here with a linking book inside it, but it doesn't appear to work. It's the first linking book that we interact with, besides the one that we used at the beginning of the game to link here to Riven that Atris was drawing in. Now you're probably thinking, why is this linking book so thin when the one that we used to link here to Riven provided to us by Atris is so freaking thick? Well, that's because the linking book that Atris was writing in is actually the descriptive book for Riven. Yeah, the descriptive book of an age is what defines the world that the book would link to. And the linking books, well, they're just basically abridged copies of the descriptive book that will link to that same age. Sometimes in the same location, sometimes in different locations. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that. There's also a maglev call button right here. And we don't know where the maglev is yet. And we can open up this door from the inside and step back out to where we were before. Now you're probably thinking that since the door closed behind me, I won't be able to open it again. Well, fortunately, I can. But no need to go back in there now, because I think we are done here at Crater Island for now. I would like to go back to Village Island and continue my exploration there. So we got 5 different eyeballs with 5 different symbols. I think our next part of that puzzle is figuring out the meaning behind those symbols. So let's go ahead and climb back up here and over to the minecart and enjoy the ride back to Village Island. So farewell, Crater Island, for now. And I don't think a lot of people have ever seen this minecart ride from point B to point A. And there we see the water opening up, thanks to these heat rains. I can't imagine how it feels to be going through these heat rains at such a very fast speed like this. It's gotta be scorching hot. And the minecart is starting to slow down, but fortunately, it's able to make the journey back up on its own. Yeah, I remember the first time I took the minecart ride from point B to point A and the minecart stopped. I was like, oh shit, am I going to be stuck? Because the cart ran out of momentum to make it all the way back to the top. But no, it's able to do so on its own. And we have reached the end of the ride, and I think this will be a good stopping point. So, we shall resume our explorations of Village Island in the next video. Take care, everyone.